man. I go by the host, Uncle Cuthbert. Yes, I am the uncle of Verbs, and Verbs is not here. So he asked me to deputize with Geniusdan. And we have another guest, but we soon introduce him. All right? So welcome to the Triggered Thoughts Podcast.
My God!
I have to get used to them button there, you know, because my nephew never teach me how to press them or which one is which, so I might fuck up here and there. So sorry, people, all right? Me think we have it now. All right, then. Let's get back to business. Okay. So, I want to introduce my co-host, or my nephew co-host, and go by the name of Geniusdan.
Yo, it's good.
Come on, Geniusdan. You have to wake up, you know.
My God! My God! My God!
Drink a coffee or something, man. Some spirulina or something, you know. Wake up yourself, man. All right? And we have a guest in the building now. And he goes by the name of
ManLike.
ManLike. ManLike is in the building. Yes. Yes. So, Genius, how you doing?
Yeah, I'm good, you know.
Good. You had a good day so far?
Yeah.
Good
day, man.
You feel weird without hosting with your cousin Verbs? You have to get used to this one, you know, this one will test your skills, you know, sir.
My God! My God! My God!
Yeah, you want to be a top podcaster, you have to work with everybody. All right. Passing the advice to the youth, them, you see it? All right. ManLike, how you doing?
I'm blessed. Good.
What kind of mask is that you have on your face, sir?
Look like a PS5.
This mask, a triangle. That's what we call it, triangle.
Triangle. You look like you're about to kill somebody, but what? We let you pass, because we know you're still, so you're all right. You're blessed.
My God! My God! My God!
Just take time when you walk past people with that mask on, all right?
I think you need a mask. You better put on a mask, mate.
No. The old girl, they're so very handsome. You know, they love me, you know. And feel up my face, and even though I'm old, they still love me tattoo tears on my face, you know. What you talk about?
My God! My God! My God! My God!
All right, people, so we hope you is well. I know it might seem a bit funny because no Verbs is in the building today, but you have an uncle who is much wiser, much knowledgeable, if there's such a word anyway. But me there. So we have feel, you know, this space and make sure the thing runs smooth like a peanut butter. So, today, the topic we're going to be talking about is, and this will Verbs hand over to you, know. So forgive me if we trip up here and there, but just a try with this. The topic we are going to do today is, where has all the respect gone? Why? So that is a wide topic, you know. Because it can cover everything. It can cover relationship. It can cover picnic, or them treat adult, or adult treat picnic. It can cover relationship, or man treat woman, or woman treat man. Everything. But you're going to start off because you know so you're an old man still. And me come here from all, you know, the second generation from the Windrush. And when we come here as a Jamaican, my people used to look after each other proper, you know. Yes, we had little skirmishes and little argument and all them things there, but we sorted out with face. You see it? Yeah. It's only when you never didn't like a man, you know, you might take out your ratchet knife and poke him in the bomber clot.
My God! My God! My God!
But we kept it civil. But one thing you notice now, with youth, yeah. Oh yeah, third generation. You third generation bomber clot, you. We notice, you know, that stuff of each other over some absolute fuckery. What is going on? You know, walk past each other and it seems like you know just cross your eye. And some big bomber clad machine come out and you know start run down each other in a public space. I don't get what is going on. So I want to pose the first question to you two. I'm going to throw it from ManLike first. Pause, that sound kind of fuckery. I'm going to put the question to ManLike first. ManLike, how come we set the thing from the Windrush and now you pick the come and undo all our good works and I mash up each other and now have no respect for each other? What is your philosophy on what is going on, brother?
My God!
All right, now good question. I'm gonna keep my normal accent because we can't keep up them accent. They're still in us. I'm gonna have to keep it normal. So I think, personally, I think the Windrush generation kind of had basic respect and stuff, you know, in those days. But I think also in those days, why we came here was different from other cultures, like the Asians, the Indians. We came over with different contexts. We had a little bit of chips on our shoulders, slaveries and stuff like this. I think the family house dynamics in those days, in our parents' days, wasn't as family orientated as we would like them to believe. You know, it was, we may believe it was, but I don't believe it was. I think we had family relatives who were sending for family relatives to come over and living with different family members and aunties. So that family dynamics of what we see on TV and movies, I don't think was necessarily a part of our dynamics, you know. The mom, dad, brother, sisters, mom goes to work, dad goes to work, mom stays at home, looks after the family. It really wasn't that way, which I think has fragmented the dynamics of what we see as family and relationships. Back in the days, we used to be able to talk to our peers with respect. Now that's kind of just gone out the windows. But this is a part to play of fatherhood, right? Not having no men in the life of children. This is play to men, young men growing up, not having no respect for authority. Not necessarily men, just authority, because that necessarily may not have been taught of what is authority or what should a man look like or how should you respect someone in that kind of position. Hence why we disrespectful, or younger children are more disrespectful to head teachers or teachers, which then plays out into police, which then plays out into the systems of work environments. And I think it's just a fragment of broken, systematic family dynamics, right? As we've grown, I think we just had a part to play with it. But systematically, I think how we landed here has not filtered out into the generations in a positive way. I think a lot of our bad traits that we've taken from our history of trauma or abuse, right? This is whether that's personal family relationship abuse or what we've gone through as family, as parents, has filtered down onto our children unconsciously, and then that's played out into the society. That's my two-piece for now. I'm gonna let Geniusdan have a two-piece, and then I'll try and jump in.
That's quite a good answer you give there, you know, ManLike. You're quite wise. We like that. But some things we disagree with, but you're smart. We like that still. We're not telling a lie.
My God!
What do you disagree with?
Well, I'm not gonna tell you. What we're gonna ask is, you see how you talk about how we come here and we have some trauma and all them things. I can't deny that, right? We feel so you're right with that the one day. But we also feel say everybody have trauma. So whoever come from foreign land and come here, them bring trauma with them too. So we just kind of I look upon it like, you know you're right. What is the difference between other nationalities of people who come here and bring them trauma and us? Because we seem to be the majority of people now with our youths. We have publicly run people down and I kill them or I kill each other. I now say other people don't do it too, because I am well and wise enough to know, say, we see other people of a nationality I do it too, even though the newspaper no one show people that. But predominantly you can say is we at the forefront. So what is the difference with other people's trauma and our trauma? Why we seem to be in the spotlight for the wrong reasons? That's the part we disagree with you about.
Okay, so let me just come back on that part, as you picked a very good point and perspective. So if we want to compare nationalities, when we landed here, when we came here around the 60s, 70s, 50s, 60s, 70s, whatever time you would depend on, that was our first entry. Now, other cultures, we had Indians, they came over, but they came under in different understanding of why they're here, right? And then other nationalities later came over here, the Nigerians, the Ghanaians, later on in time, they came over under different pretexts, right? Now, why I think is different for when the Caribbeans came over, they came over in a part where the color of your skin mattered a lot, right? So they had to deal with a different struggle at that period of time, right? That's point one. Point two is when they came and they had to do funny jobs, right? Because they was coming at a period of time of rebuilding after World War II, right? So they picked up a lot of those kind of weird jobs that were looked or frowned upon that nobody wanted to do, which automatically put you at the bottom of the scale in the way of how people would see you going forward, right?
Very true.
When the Asians came forward and came in, they came in as necessarily a different way. They was part of the army necessarily. Also, they got given land and shops, and it was easier for them to acquire land and property. For the blacks, it was very difficult, right? In the sense of they had to beg people to get them on their mortgage and whatever the way they had to do to get their property. So again, they was seen as lower class citizens by default. Now going on to that, in the way of Margaret Thatcher, what she did with the social accommodation, everyone would see that was a positive thing, right? But what it did, it just trapped everyone in the barrel, right? And you put all of the same people in the same area who were then all struggling in those same areas, which we now call the ghettos. So that's my response. I don't think it is the same as other cultures necessarily. I do think how we came and the rational reasons for why we came and where we was in a place of culture identity, yeah, as a culture of a Caribbean nationality or territory of the British Empire, right? We wasn't defined as in a sense of having our own identity yet. So you brought in people with no identity into a place and then stripping their identity again. Compared to when the Asians came, they had their identity and they kept their identity. They had the culture, they had religion, they had this stuff. So when they came here, they retained it and maintained it. And then they grew in this country as a culture, right? Which is why, and other cultures, if you want to do Chinese, the Chinese come, they bring Chinatown with them. Everywhere you go, there's a Chinatown. They keep their cultures, yeah? Other cultures do the same. And if you look back, it's because they have a defined identity, right? X-Maker, right, which was an X before it was a J, still doesn't necessarily just got about independence. Right? We're just about fighting for it now to come away. We still don't have an identity. We still don't know where we come from. We don't know what's our roots. You have to do a 23andMe to understand what tribe we come from in Africa. Right? So the identity is completely different when you try to remove a culture or a so-called nation and then place them into another nation which don't identify as anything. That's my answer.
Why, sir? You're sharp like a garden shed tool, you know. Not to lie. You like that answer there still. You're good. You're good. Respect that. Geniusdan. The girl named Marzipan. What is your response to, why, we seem to go from when we first come here and had more of a respect for each other to now we have our youngsters running around killing each other and, fantasizing with all this gang life and all these fuckery that I've run at my age. Just cannot believe what I am seeing. But what is your reasonings, please, sir?
Well, if you take away the discipline from the homes, this is what you can expect, anarchy.
My God, my God, my God.
The government basically said that discipline is a form of abuse. So when you take away the discipline from the parents and you now put out there that, if you discipline your children, they can be taken away into care, it now makes people think twice in the way they deal with their children. And this is the end result. I grew up, in a household where, discipline was, there was nothing wrong with discipline. At least it kept the children in order.
So you get your ass bust, right?
Mm.
My God, my God, my God.
But at least you knew that, the children stayed in line. In my days, you never had, the children beating up their parents. I know of parents that get beaten up by their children. That could never happen. I wouldn't be able to get away with that. You're joking. You get parents ringing social services helpline because they can't deal with their 5-year-old child. And I was like, what? I said, that's crazy, but it does happen. The parents are scared of their children. And we've got the government to blame for this, because now where you take away the discipline from the homes, especially with these young men, there's only so much a woman can do in terms of, raising a young man. It requires a father to raise a man. A mum can only do so much. Do you see what I mean?
My God,
and once again, another thing to add to this is, the single parent households where, the father figure is no longer present in the household, either doing, inside, doing a long sentence. The child now turns to the streets to show them how to be a man. They look to the streets for respect, the local drug dealer, the top road man. You name it. This is what I mean. These are all factors and the reasons why a lot of these youths are the way they are. There's no deterrent. These same youths, if you think about it, if these prison systems were doing what they were supposed to do, which is supposed to be, like even a correctional facility, if they were doing what they were supposed to be doing, there won't be people offending and stabbing out the place. Every time we have a knife crime, then all of a sudden now another era. It's almost like there's a trend. But my point is, there's something wrong in these prison systems, because if these prison systems were, strict, no TV, no mobile phone, you're only allowed an hour a day, it will mess up your mind and it will make you think, I can't, I don't want to come back here. But they are introducing a different lifestyle into these prison places, and it's making it look like a holiday camp. I've never back it like 20, 30 years ago, I never known of anyone to have their mobile phone, to be able to be allowed out of their prison cell, to be able to have Switch, Game Boy, TV in their cell, putting up posters, putting up pictures. This is where we're going wrong. Now we're finding out that now these prisons apparently they're overcrowded now. So the judges are saying, don't, try not to put people in prison. Now you're sending the wrong message out there to the people that, you know what, I can commit crimes and get away with it. But yeah, the two main factors, as I said before, is the absence of discipline, taking away the parental rights on how they deal with their children, because the government have put across that these children belong to the state. So in actual fact, what they are saying is that our children don't belong to us. We're basically sperm donors.
My God.
Very true.
So yeah.
Very, very true. So, let me ask you now, because me as an old man, I grew up in a time where you fuck around and you do something wrong and you not listen to your parents them, why the belt are going to come out and bust your ass proper.
My God.
Till you can't even cry or talk good. You defend so them thing that you defend, Yeah, but yes thing.
Yeah.
So I'm aware that there's lots of people out here that don't particularly side with the whole culture of picnic getting beaten, right? And when you hear what you just said just now, it's not in place now, it's been removed. Because they say the government are treat the kids them like them are picnic of the state, right? So what I say to you now is, what would you and ManLike like to see in terms of moving forward, how these picnic get dealt with, where there is a balance, where people can't jump out and say, yo, yeah, torture the picnic them too much, you hurt the picnic them too much, but you have to bring some discipline in. What would the two of you suggest the government could do if you had the powers to make change? What do you think you can put in place to move forward and make things better with these youth here?
Let me go first. Let me go back and go back onto some of those points. So firstly, I want to address the beating of children, right? Or the so-called
discipline.
The state is discipline and the state is ownership. So when you're elderly, you're in the age of 50 or 60, yeah, and you want to get taken care of or get put into social homes or elderly home, you expect social services to take care of you.
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah.
We expect it. You can't have it both ways. Right?
No, you can't. No.
When you're a part of society, there's some rules and regulations you have to abide by. And if you're a part of the society, that's what you choose. That's your birth certificate. In the sense of your children, right? There's a lot of people who miss and abuse their children, which they have to get taken away by the state, right? In the sense of drug misuse or physical abuse or sexual abuse. We will expect the state to intervene.
Neglect.
Or neglect, hence why we have these rules and regulations. But it goes both ways, right? So if we're saying that we can't abuse children in a way that is crazily like you're abusing them, beating them up, there can't be any type of abuse, right? And I don't believe there's actually much evidence to support that abuse or beating your child by the ways of how we was raised in the Caribbean, where they'll get a spoon and whoop your ass or get the belt and tell you to strip naked, right? I've seen multiple of this. My brother who gets told to strip naked and you get beaten by the belt. Yeah, I've seen it, right? Did it make any effect or would it have any beneficial? Now let's compare you getting a beating from your parents and then you as a big man getting rushed by a bag of youths at school. Do you think you are fearful of your parents beating you or you're fearful of a man thumping you up in your face? Yeah? Or you're fearful of a man stabbing you up? This is the reality that these kids are facing. So when we're talking about beating and discipline, I don't think it is actually as effective as we would like to believe it is. I think parenting has a massive part to play. And I think the agenda to having children has a part to play in this situation. I think when people have a child, I don't think the agenda is to have a child. I think that it's normally by mistake, unfortunately, accident. And which is normally a beautiful thing, right? It doesn't normally have to be planned. But if you haven't planned, you don't normally have an agenda for your child in the sense of, I'm going to manipulate my child in a positive way to be this, right? You kind of let that child just be what they want to be, and then they're a part of society. Where if you see a family necessarily who have an agenda to have children or agenda to build a family, you're going to see they go over and backwards to make sure that child is correctly socialized in community, is correctly doing extra activities, whether that be playing piano, playing the guitar, going playing football or whatever sports they want to do, gymnastics or dance class. And they will have activities to keep their mind entertained. Now, what we find is when there's children that are not by design, which I will reference our second generation, where families, what I believe, this is my take on the situation, my perspective, is family who were stuck in these homes, right? These first generation houses wanted to get out. So they had children, baby boom, the 1980s, and they got housed in social accommodation. The agenda wasn't to build a family. The agenda was to get out of mom's house because they didn't like each other. So now that you're in these houses with your child, you just know normally your agenda isn't to raise that child. Your agenda isn't to bring them to Saturday football so they can become footballer. That's not your agenda. Your agenda is, I need to get another man now because my man's gone and I've got this child. My agenda is, I need to go to work because I've got to work 2 times. My agenda is, you know what? They just got us to go out and play on the street. Go and play with traffic. Go play with traffic. Go play with traffic. Numerous times I've heard go play with traffic, right? Now, the new generation is, you know what? Go on your iPad. Go on TikTok. Go on this. Your agenda is not your child. So if your agenda is not your child, somebody else is going to entertain that child. Whether it's social media or the role boy or school, whether you're rich and you got all of the things, but you still don't have an agenda for your child, they're going to be mixing with people who got the latest things. So they're going to have to keep up. Yeah, they're going to school and their best brethren is their dad is a old man. So they're able to have the iPads and the phones and the latest trainers. Yeah, you're working and struggling to pay for them. So you know what? For our kids, how did you get those latest trainers? Do this with me, you can get the latest trainers. And then they're sucked in. Could be the best child in the world. Your parents are struggling, working hard and everything. But you just haven't had the agenda to put the focus on the child. So I think going back to the question, I know I went round in a circle, is mainly around parenting and the agenda to why you have these children. And if you look at the agenda to these problem children, right, and the parents' agenda to, if they really wanted to put agenda into having their children, I think you'll find that some of these children are designer babies, I call them. Fashion, hormones, right? And actual accidents, right? Where you've been trapped by a man in a certain way, or girls being trapped by whatever, and then next thing you know, you're having a child, right? Then you're left and then you become a single parent. Unfortunately, that seems to be the situation where some of these problem children are causing a bit of a ruckus because there is no support and no systematic understanding to family dynamics and how a family should be run necessarily for that person. That's my 2 piece factors.
My God, my God, my God.
Why? Very good answer, you know. Very good. You covered that well, sir. Without telling a lie. Genius. What would you implement in terms of moving forward in a safe way where people cannot say the new rules for you put in place for parent fitness means they might get abused, but there is enough for them to learn and do better?
Well, I would make sure that I introduce some new sort of rules for the schools. So obviously, the schools need to be educated on, discipline for these children. There needs to be like a level of communication in what's acceptable in terms of their behavior. I feel that, it's a hard one because I was going to say about the police, because many years ago, the police, they had a good relationship with the parents back then where there was a level of understanding, but the police have lost a lot of respect. They can't even be brought into this equation, but I definitely believe that parents need to be more educated in terms of, how they deal with their children. For example, just becoming more acquainted to, the people that their children are associated with, educating their children on things like grooming, the consequences of drugs, prison. The schools need to educate these children on these things as well. They need to bring it to attention to the point where it's highlighted and it's something that's addressed, so that at least then people, the youth might think twice. Now that it's out there, and that obviously they're getting it from two groups of people, the parents and the school. But there's a lot of the stuff, to be honest with you, that's plaguing this generation of youth. I speak to parents myself, and they don't know much about. They've heard of grooming, but in terms of having that conversation with their children, they don't. They don't even know, the kind of people their children are hanging around with. They don't even know if their child is being bullied. There's just so much stuff, and I feel that if the parents are more educated on a lot of stuff, in how to deal with their child, or how to identify and know when there is something wrong or taking place in their child's life, it could eradicate a lot of issues that we're seeing presently. Because if someone was to say to me, oh, do you know who your children associate with? Do you know their friends? Do you know their parents? I can say, yeah, because I've made it my business. But I guarantee if you go and ask a few of the mums and the dads, tell me about Ruben down the road. What do you know about Ruben? What does Ruben do? Does Ruben attend school? What's the people like that you associate? They're not going to be able to tell you, because a lot of the time these parents they're too busy. They're working 2 or 3 jobs. They don't really have time to really engage and get to really understand and know who their child is. A lot of the times as well, there's frustration from the children, because you speak to them and they're like, my parents are not interested. A lot of the parents don't even know the kind of activities that their children are interested in. So there's so much things. You know what I mean? And I get it. We're in a time where there's cost of living, and finances is not something that everyone has. But then at the same time, there are things out there, there are activities out there that are free. So there's not really any excuse. These children need arts to be brought into the world. So we are obligated as parents to make sure that we do everything possible to make sure that they stay on the straight and narrow.
My God.
So
Very, very good answer.
so yeah, man.
Yeah, that's very good. Because, I feel like, although I agree with what both of you are saying, I feel like, especially you, ManLike, where you'd say, you see your brother get beaten and, one could argue if it works and all them things, yeah? But I'm not saying that you must take out a belt and beat up your picnic like that and then get naked and beat them, so that is a bit too harsh. But what I would say is, I feel something is missing from these picnic. And the reason why I say that is because when I observe them and them do something wrong, and you talk to them about what them do wrong, they continue to do the wrongness. And it's almost like it's deliberate. So I'll give you an example. When you was younger, and you do something wrong and your parents confront you, even if it's just your mother, you say your mother, no dad in the yard, whatever, if she confront you, when say, you're going to probably get a lick, even if it's not a belt beating, just a smack, that made you say sorry in an authentic way, like you didn't mean it. But you see these kids now, because them not have there's no line drawn in the sand, or if them cross that level there, they know say, all right, if I keep pushing, my parents are going to keep talking, they're going to keep lecturing me, they might take away my computer, they might do this, they might do that, but we know say we're not going to get no clap. We know say we're not going to get no beating. So they will push, and they would put them foot over the line of the sun. Regular like clockworks, we see them do it. You understand? And sometimes I feel like when I pick me say a smack I go come, and I say it's the first measure you should use, But when I pick me say you can poke, prod, and test your parent. What if they know say your parent probably not gonna lick you at the first instant, not the second, not the third, they might not even beat you for 2-3 weeks. But the fact that say, if they get to that point, they will lick you. That will make a pick me feel say, yo, let me readdress how me I come towards the parent, and let me not step over the mark, because me don't know when my mother I got turn around and give me one ratted clap, you see. You understand? And that the part missing. And I feel say something need to come back to make them youth they know say, that they will get a proper consequence, because removing computer and all these things is not really a consequence to them, Them when you take computer from they will just look funny and shrug their shoulder and be like, okay, no problem. It not bother them, because they have so much anyway. It's not like when we was a youth and they don't take your computer or them take away this from you, your favorite tie. And when they take away your favorite tie, because of how we live and how money was scarce back in the day, that the tie was probably your favorite tie out of 5 tie you have. That was the one way. If they don't take that way, why you feel fuck up. What you see now, if you take out your the phone, you have him tablet. If you take out your tablet, you have him laptop. If you take out your something else, you have smart TV. So you can get from the internet in more ways than one. You understand? Unless you get fucked, don't.
Yeah, true.
So unless you're going to be a parent where you say, you know what? Fuck this, little victim, you're going too far. And you're going like some mad somebody and going at the run, take out the tablet, take out the phone, take out the smart TV, plug out this, plug out that, and dash it and the run back like covered and lock it. You're not going to feel it. And then they're going to turn around if you do that, and they're going to say you're too harsh. And they'll go to school and say you're too harsh with them. You take away everything. Them room ball like me, sir. You understand?
Yes.
So these people never have to learn. Oh, go on, we have to show them, say, they have to be genuine and sincere when they get something wrong. You can't just trudge around and go on like, say, why, nothing not reach you and rare, because even if the parents, them not go lick them, cool, no problem. And even if the parents refuse to shout at them, come here, say, no, school, I tell people, say, even shouting at them, pick me is abuse now, you know? So they're going to tell us.
See, my thing is this, yeah? We can debate as much as we like about what we think these children need. The difference is we live in this society, and this society is not going to change their stance on this whole children and child line business. Right? We know that it's going to be there. It's getting even more flavoursome with these letters, gang, bare letters everywhere. So there's no way around it. Now, in a sense of if you have a child, then you can't import some type of authority into your child in the sense of like, big man, I'll mash you up. Yeah, and they don't believe it. That's on you, innit? As an individual, right? Because if your child is being disrespectful and you as a father or the parent, you don't have the ability to enforce fair. You don't have to bad them up, but you can still bad them up. You don't need to physically beat him up and punch him up so he's got a black eye. But if you're a bully boy or you've come from that kind of neck of the woods, that's still in you, in a sense, right? And that should be enough from a child's perspective to a man's perspective for him to have some type of respect. I think the point is not this whole thing of if you beat your child or not. It's just the point of abstinence in the relationships from the father's perspective. And when you look at it, most of the time that there's no fatherhood. To be a bully boy there, you're there every other weekend on Saturday for 2 hours. That's the reality of it. As much as we want to argue these debates and talk about this stuff, if you look at the facts, raw facts of how much people are actually in these people's lives, or if you ask these children who are problem children and ask them how much of their fathers was in their life, many of them are not going to say like, yeah, they had a present father figure or a decent father figure, or, you know what I mean? And that's on us as the community. How many people do we know who have multiple baby mothers?
Loads.
And you can't be there for all of them. It's not possible. Like, how? Most of the time, we're not even in good terms with the baby mom. Not even you're actually beefing most of the time. You're still you're gonna wanna what? And then that defines you because you're the waste man now. So now all that child hears is that the dad's a waste man.
True. That's not true. We're gonna move on because we want to move on to good point there, you know, ManLike. But we're going to try and turn the conversation down to a relationship now. So from this element there, we are talking about the pity them or them need discipline. We speak to a few of my nephew, and how me I go curve this round the corner to move on to the next subject is when it comes to them pity there, and them are struggle to add the discipline. And next thing we get to realize with few generation is when we speak to my nephew them and my nephew friend them tell me say when them have them picky and them have, as the dad try implement certain things and then them go to work and then leave them missus at home with the picnic. The missus is doing all of these things with the picnic what the dad no want them to do. So all of the structure with the man I try to put in, as him gone, the woman I take out. So it make the battle even longer. You understand? And then enough time here say the young boy them tell me say to them for them missus label them as the disciplinarian or the fiery one. You're too hardcore with the picnic them. Rare. Cause them want to bring up the picnic and them all soft. Give them. And the daddy them want to do the same thing, but they want a line draw where they say, yo, if you not do this, you not get that. And we have to stick to it. What most of the time when we get to realize is the mother them, when the picnic them push and the mother them know so what they want to do is wrong, the picnic them when you watch them, they will still press on them that, Mom, you know, say you're telling me so we can't have the biscuit them because we did naughty, but please, can we have the biscuit them? And they will come back every 2 minutes. Mom, please, can you have the biscuit? Please, can we have the biscuit? And then know that turn around and say, all right, go and have the biscuit them. You fuck up right there, so. The daddy not do that. So there's a divide between what the man want in terms of discipline for him picnic and what the woman want in terms of discipline for the picnic. And sometimes we get to realize a lot of young people argue with them wife or with them husband, not because of their relationship, but because of the difference how they want to raise the picnic. What do you think about that?
It's a hard one. It's a hard one, man. As I said before, the parents are very limited now in terms of a lot of stuff that they can and cannot do. And remember as well, we're in a time now where there's a lot of single parents. I see it in terms of the work that I do, and it's hard. I've seen parents break down and cry and tell me it's hard. They don't get the support. They can't handle these children. There's no youth centers for these children. You know what I mean? And if you're a single parent, and you don't really get the support, well, what do? You know what I mean? So, everything that you touch on is very, very true. But unfortunately, 10, 15 years later, there's no solution. The government don't care. The police don't care. So, but what's the answer? As ManLike said, we can debate all day, but the problem is we've got youth out there that are dying daily and it's not getting any better. My children are getting older. I worry about them. They're getting older now. I mean, they're at a time now where the age range in my time was you'd be lucky if to make it 30. But in my days, man, like literally, if you made 30, it was like, wow. But now the age has decreased. You've got 11-year-olds killing people now. Look at the 11-year-old. I went to the Old Bailey's, the other day, and no, yesterday I went, and boy, person's telling me they're in court and they're seeing an 11-year-old standing before the judge in their uniform.
My God!
So, I don't know, man. I'll be honest with you. It's we have a lot of we've mentioned a lot of good things. We mentioned some kind of solutions, but you see the thing is, knowledge is power, but without it being put into practice is void. And another thing is, a major thing, we're divided as a people. That's another massive problem. We're divided. We've got a lot of people that are supposed to be activists. We've got activists fighting against activists. We've got this one disagreeing with this one. So we're divided, man. So when there's division, it's not going to work, man. Because there's people that have got two different ideologies, two different ways of dealing with things. So unless we can truly come together as a community, work together, Stop the hating, stop the backbiting, stop fighting against one another, hating on one another. We'll forever be.
Let me cut you this up. Why we have to? All right, you know what you say in a realistic thing. You say we have to come together as a community, and to some extent, we believe that true, because that would be helpful. That would be helpful. But what we want to say is, why we have to come together? Because the reason why I said that is because you have your pity them, and you are implementing things to your pity them at home, don't it? And you are keeping pity them off of the road, don't it? And you are educate and encourage and stimulate your pity them in the right way, don't it? Right. So the chances of your pity them ending up on the street the way you raise them, you think his eyes to them are going to end up on the street?
You know what? You got some parents here that raise their children well.
Just stick to the thing, quick. Just quick, then you can come back on that, please. Remember, me are the enforcer right now, you know. Just work with me, dog. Work with me. So you think they don't have a high chance of ending up on the street? Or you think you have your eye enough funding where you can provide early intervention?
Yeah, early intervention.
Right. So we now say it can't happen, but the chances are you are invested in your youth them where if somebody did try to approach them, you would probably notice something not right and you'll investigate. So if you can implement that from your side as a father, right? Why we have to be together as a community to make sure all our people them there from the same level? Why can't every household do the same blood clot thing and keep them youth in line? And when them all come out and them come cross each other, they're not in the fuckery because they're raised right. But what I go on is some people are trying to save them one a picnic, which we don't blame them, because you can't save the rest of them out there. Because some of them are into fuckery and some of the parents never let them get into fuckery, don't it? Yeah?
I'm gonna answer that.
Hold on, man. Give me 1 second. Let me land. Yeah? So they're on a fuckery. But if everybody focus properly and raise them youth the right way, when them come out, you get less fuckery. You understand? Some people no business. Me hear parents say to me, you know, if my youth was on the road keeping up with a bag of fuckery and a big adult come over to them, even if it's the neighbor, and come challenge my youth and have to get forceful and pull him out of, let's just say, a fight. You know the people them tell me, say they will argue and cuss out and all fight the adult will pull them youth away. This is fuckery. This is what the mother them tell me, you know. Nobody can put them upon them youth even if they're doing wrong. So to me, that is the blood clot problem we have.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah.
ManLike, you can jump in when you're ready, you know. Pause.
In the jumping business, you know, jumping.
You know what I mean? You know, me and my mama, man, you know, me have 5 old women from my line, you know.
Listening, so what I was saying is, going back to the point of the family is, I think when we deep it, not all families are the same, and the families that I think we're questioning are very unique families where there's actually some type of support structure there. Father, like you've been referencing, who has the point of intervening at the right point in time, but we have to look at the mass, right? And that's and the mass being the people who are problems. So the ones who are in these situations that you're referring to, you're probably not going to have of anything for them. They'll probably go university, they'll probably go do what they're doing, work in employment and be what we would class as decent citizens, right? Now, the problem children, or we'll class as the problem children, we have to look at why they're problem children. And more than likely, it's probably because they're probably raised in single-parent family-hoods. And if they're raised in single-parent family-hoods, it's going to be hard for that male influence, like you're saying, or for that family or that single mom to to implement some of the solutions that you're saying, in the sense of making sure that they're raised right and they're not doing stuff and there's someone's able to intervene. So it's where the community needs to play. So back in the days, Windrush generation days, people used to have the view that it takes a community to raise a child. Now, it doesn't seem to take a community to raise a child. Everyone seems to be on this silo business and singular business, and we just care about what's in front of us in our immediate family. This, in theory, makes sense, but what about the people who need support, who don't have the family dynamics or the support to be able to implement that type of strategy? And I think that's where that community functions, or other cultures have that community dynamics that they're able to help and be the auntie or the uncle to that needed person. I think that's what's lacking in our community. The Africans used to have it. They used to say, "Your mother said I could beat you." Yeah, that used to be very apparent in the community, right? But now that doesn't seem to be there no more. And I think for the ones who have that family dynamics, they will be fine. But that's the minority. That's not the majority. That's my take.
My God, my God, my God, my God.
Very well put, Very well put. Still, not telling a lie. This is a very interesting episode we are doing, And the input has been good so far. I'm very happy. I feel so when we call the one with some verbs later and give the feedback. You're going to be happy still, Might all give me the chance to do the regular podcast. Who knows? I just want to ask one question because we don't want to go too far into this.
I've got one question for you since you've been asking the question.
All right,
Mr.
go on.
Host,
go on.
Mr. Oldman. Yes.
No. That's where you go too far. Uncle, get it right, you.
Uncle.
Yo, listen. Wait, let me tell you something. Just because you're tall, don't mean to make you come down there and shut you on blood clot box, Have someone as you.
Uncle. I apologize, Uncle.
Thank you.
I apologize.
Thank you.
Sorry.
All right, go on.
All right, Eddie. What do you feel like media or the representation of media has done to affect our community?
You mean the black community?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah? All right.
Yeah.
Well, I think I did brush past it earlier when we say, I believe that loads of nationalities, different people get involved in crime and things that are negative. And when I peel open my newspaper or I go up on the internet and see updates, I always see says black youths where have them mugshots spread out on the page. And the media make it look like a them alone. I do all them type of fuckery on the road. And don't get me wrong, we know, sir, we have problem. Me not deny that, But when me walk a road, when me talk to people, when me do my research, me know, sir, Asian people get involved in a crime. Me know, sir, Albanian people get involved in a crime. Chinese man get involved in a crime. Africa, whatever you want to call it, loads of people get involved in a crime. Some different people have their own specific specialist crime with them play with. Yeah? But everybody gets involved in a crime. Even the white man, like clockwork, get involved in a crime. Nobody can tell me any different. You understand? Yeah? And the media, because the media is representing this country, a white man country, it love to perpetrate black people as the negative, the problem. You understand? But if you research proper, you realize, even though them say that black people kill each other at such a disproportionate rate, we is not the majority from the land. This your land. We're not the majority. It's white people. So if you research it proper, in the right way, you realize them kill each other more than we kill each other. Because them far more greater than we are in a number. You understand? Now, that is not to shy away from few problems. But we just have to say, things like that don't help because not everywhere in England has multicultural capacity. You understand? You have London, Birmingham, Nottingham, Bristol, all them usual places kind of cluster together. Have a strong element of multiculturalism where different races of people, culture, religions live side by side. But there's many places in England where it's just white only, you know? You understand? And them have them problems. You understand? Yeah? And you don't see no news coming out of this, so like Devon and Cornwall and man kill each other. Whatever I can tell you, say, no gun in a Cornwall, no knife in a Devon, no drugs in a Plymouth.
My God, my God, my God.
You understand? So there's obviously an agenda to make people where don't look like the man of the land look bad. And I just think we as a people have to try not to focus on that because when the British people them jump on it and expose oh we are kill each other, what I start to see now is black people turn idiot and jump on the internet and start diss each other too and say, yo, we kill each other at an alarming rate and we have this problem. And then I highlight the problem to everybody. And I go on like, them not have no black skin. Sometimes you have to use your energy to find a solution to the problem. Not add to the fuckery when you spread it around, you understand? Everybody has them problem. We all are human being. Everybody's supposed to be brother. And when you come from, you're supposed to love thy neighbor. You're supposed to show manners and respect. So if my neighbor go through problem and in white, me fi help him. If him a go through problem, you understand? Somebody fi help him. I scratch my back, whatever. You know how the saying go already. That's how we're supposed to live. But when we are sit down and have point finger on each other, it's absolute fuckery. And that's why the world, or England especially, I suffer from pure blood clot division.
My God, my God, my God, my God, my God.
Me answer your question, you man like?
Papa.
Thank you, sir.
Yes.
I just want to put one quick thing to know before we left about here. I don't know if you see one viral video with one boy a fly around on the internet. Me see it from this morning. One skinny black boy with glasses I talk about if him did go on a date with a woman and him pay £30 for the date and she in him yard and she want left, him a lock her in the yard and she not left.
I see that.
You see it?
Yeah.
She not left.
London boy.
Yeah. You know.
It was Rare.
Red Talk Bridget. Yeah, Red.
No.
Man said he will lock her in the yard and she have to give him pum pum. She no business.
Yeah, but that could be classed as like RAP, you know?
100%. When I saw that the video, I said, yo, what kind of fuckery this your young boy I talk about? In my rapist, or that him I go on with. I just want to ask you know. Because I see enough boy and I thought them kind of foolishness on the internet. What do you really think about them kind of thought there? Please tell me.
They're basically showing you what kind of people they are, man. That's messed up, man. I can't even associate with people like that. And for me, everyone's entitled to their opinions, but these guys are constantly doing videos, and some of the stuff they're saying, I'm like, raw. Like, are you guys okay? It's disturbing, man.
We're not lying, no genius.
It's bloody disturbing. Me and you're not going to be doing a podcast. If you do a podcast on women, just know that I'll be putting a message out there saying like this doesn't go for all women, because the problem that they've got, they're not being specific. It's like they're classing all women the same, and that's when you're gonna have a problem, man. You're gonna have a problem.
Yeah,
it's like they constantly have anything they talk about is to do with women, and it's black women. I can't. Yeah, man, I can't. A couple of times I share one or two things just to see what people respond, but yeah, man, I couldn't do that, man. That video there where if she doesn't pay up, that's like, mate.
Triggered thoughts. Now do them kind of content there. I fuck with that. I'm not tell a lie. I'm going to get back to you in a minute, man. Like, but when you see that boy Ray talks, me know say you, Mr. Genius, you have some people close to that boy there, you know. But me not expose the thing pan this or something, yeah. Yeah, but me just say that boy the Ray talks. In the beginning, we did see some of him podcasts him put up, and we did take a watch and think say it's not too bad still. And then we get to realize say, yo, if I have that one there with the glasses, the eyeglass, and if I have one next Jamaican barber youth, I sit down in him presence when we talk. And when we listen to them talk, them man there is about at least 30-something years old, you know. And when we hear them talk, how well if a fuckery, it coming like, man, I listen to podcasts who make by 15-year-old picking it to blood clot. So you see when we see that clip there, I said to myself, but wait, this haven't really come from this and make himself go viral with such a comment, so? He want two big man come out and beat up him blood clot.
My God, my God, my God.
ManLike, what you think about man we bring up them, like we taught them kind of thought there, if woman not if him pay £30 per date and woman want to go home and no one give him pum pum, you go lock her up and take pum pum. What kind of, yo?
Do you know what it is? I don't even, the world we live in is wild right now, man. It's crazy that this is even allowed to be online and we can barefacedly talk about this kind of stuff. That is signs of, I don't know, what you've gone through in your past for you to feel like that's okay. But then we have to, you know, you can't condone it. There's nothing you can say to condone it. There's nothing really. I get social media is a bit wild right now. I get
people doing reviews.
Yeah, it's clickbait. Everyone's trying to get numbers somehow. So some of the things you don't even know if it's really their mentality of what they're trying to do, or are they just trying to become famous now, right? Because he's got famous from that perspective, right? So it's worked in his advantage if that's what his agenda was. All news is good news in the sense of social media, right? So that's the point. As long as you're talking about a person, that's what counts. Now, if it's real, sad for the community that is going around, and that's our mentality, unfortunately. How did we get like that? I think we both have a part, both sexes. I think we both have a part to play in this sexualization of humanity right now. Right? We're very sexualized. Everyone's sexualized, man. Right? Everyone's take 1,000 pictures for one picture, and it's your best angle, and you're cocking it out this way and this and that. You know, like.
My God, my God, my God.
100%, you're right still. Can't disagree with that, they comment there at all. You know, it's just sad that to see a big man talk so stupid and reckless, so but obviously he must be doing it to get clout or likes or whatever he want. But him better hope and pray. Listen, if you want to listen, or if you ever come across this, my youth, hope and pray to them comment that you have put out there to get likes. Hope and pray so you don't buck the wrong set of people, you know. Because if them see you, after you say such a comment, even if you get famous, your head go get boss.
You know what it is?
Go on.
They're just setting themselves. He's setting himself up for failure, because then that comment could be used to incriminate him. Now, if a girl now makes an allegation now, and they say, but and remember there was a situation a while back where it was something to do with I don't know if you meant to say it about how young girls give head. You know them sort of comments there.
Yes, and go viral for that too, don't.
Yeah, and he was getting I'm sorry, man. I'm not prepared to go viral for embarrassing reason.
It's a dangerous thing, this internet thing, and anything you put on there is not going nowhere. So they're coming back for people all day long, right? And this whole Me Too movement is still going on right now. So someone who may have done that to, if he is done that to, is gonna see that video, and they're gonna be like, "Me too."
My God, my God, my God.
That's the problem.
100%. You're right.
So you know what I mean. Like I said, I hope it is for likes, for his sanity, for his safety, and for his freedom.
Yeah, but who would like something like that? If you like something like that, that means that you agree with them. I'm sorry, I don't agree with that.
No. I mean, not for the likes in the sense of
the views.
For the fame, innit?
No, but I mean, people actually like that video. If you listen carefully to what he's saying, that's not something that you like unless you agree with that. Do you know what I mean? So if you're doing something like that for views and for likes, something is very wrong with you. We
see enough people when videos come up, even if they're negative, people's reaction is to click like, you know, and sometimes me sit down and me think, no, I can't like that one there, you know. But if you're looking at the comments with the video there, I'll be a slaughter, if I get slaughter, you know.
Oh, I haven't seen the comments, I just saw it.
Yeah, no, I'll be a slaughter, if I get slaughter.
Seriously?
But people have view it, that's the problem, but it might get slaughter still, so from it get attention and it get traction, it might put you in the place where you want to be.
You know when you get like 1 million YouTube views or something, you know how much you're getting paid? Like, and then your algorithm for your next video is nice. Like, all news is good news. That's something some people have figured out. And bad news or worse news like that seems to do better than positive uplifting stuff.
100%. You're right.
So if you want to grow, you gotta do something wild or walk around with a Rambo in your hand, running through Notting Hill Carnival. Like this is the sadistic mentality of our population, unfortunately, and people know this, right? They know that we have a bit of a weird mentality. This is why we can advertise Palestine and Israel flying all over the place, and people watch it on news like it's flipping a film. And getting enjoyment from it. It's like you're actually watching it on the news, like, wow, look, oh, they're at hospital. Like, where did they hit? Oh, look, there's a crater. Wow, oh my goodness, how many people died? Look, there's all the building. All the bodies are on the floor. Look, on TV, you just put white sheets all over it on TV. This is normality.
Yeah, desensitized. Boy, thank you for your contribution, and thank you for allowing me to be your host for today. Taking over from Verbs, Uncle Daya. All right.
My God, my God.
So,
my God.
I just want to say, listeners, we hope you enjoy the content we put out. There'll be much more coming out soon. So from me, Uncle, I'm gonna say good night.
And from myself, Geniusdan, good night.
From ManLike, well, out.
I will see you next time on the next episode of the Triggered Thoughts podcast. Yes, people.
Don't be triggered.
Respect people, respect.
Yeah.